I have been exposed to the world of childhood cancer through volunteering for as long as I can remember. I grew up from age 4, chasing people through the mall, trying to use my little kid cuteness to guilt them into buying paper angels to benefit foundations like Make-A-Wish. I also spent a lot of my time growing up making friends with children who had different types of cancer. With so much experience and attachment to this issue, I've wanted to talk about it for a while. However, this isn't a comfortable conversation for most. The air leaves the room when I mention childhood cancer, and most people expect the song "In the Arms of an Angel" to come on, with Sarah McLachlan appearing. The very first thing I want to say using my experience with childhood cancer is that this is not a hopeless situation. Whenever I mention childhood cancer and my involvement with it, a large amount of tension is created. While with other problems in the world, people always are jumping up with solutions and ways to help people deal with the problem. Some spend their lives arguing on how to best solve that world problem. Since childhood cancer affects people regardless of race, gender, or socioeconomic status, we should be more unified on making a difference with these kids. But there's a large sense of hopelessness directed at this issue. This attitude influences families of recently diagnosed children when approached by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They are afraid of accepting the help from foundations because they're afraid it means accepting the cancer, which, due to the attitudes people have, seems like accepting the death of their child. But Dr. Tom McLean, a pediatric oncologist, had positive statistics on the survival rate of childhood cancer.
Currently, in 2014, we cure about 4 out of 5 children with cancer. So 80% are cured. That means only about 20% are not cured.
These statistics are shocking in a great way. However, I don't mean to belittle the issue. Every day, 42 children are diagnosed with childhood cancer. This is not as rare of a disease as people think. This diagnosis affects more than just a child, though. The journey they have to go through is shared by family, friends, doctors, nurses, social workers, volunteers, and all of those people's families. When a shock of this magnitude hits a family, the ripples are felt strongly far past relatives and friends. My family felt shockwaves from kids getting diagnosed, and still do today. I will occasionally get a call from my mom about a new cancer kid she has volunteered to help, or one that has passed away. I, a 20-year-old college kid who lives across the state, am being hit by the ripples created by the diagnosis of a 6-year-old with cancer. Our relationships create a vast web of connections that we don't realize the size of until a diagnosis of this magnitude comes up. This is also a problem that continues long after the child is cured. 60% of children who survive suffer devastating late effects such as secondary cancers, muscular difficulties, and infertility. Amber Scalva's daughter was one of those children. Her daughter's colon was damaged by the radiation and her liver wasn't functioning properly. After many surgeries, she is now living with a tube in her stomach.
It's a hard world to be a part of, and it changes you forever. It affects every aspect of your family, every person in your family. Her brother will never be the same, we will never be the same, she will never be the same. We've lost so many kids who were dear to us, so many that went through treatment beside her and were her dearest friends. We've buried 28 of them in the past few years, and that changes you forever.
This issue is a lot bigger than we realize, but it's also possible to help with the situation as well. The point being, we need to stop being afraid of talking about childhood cancer and start the discussion of what we can do to create better, fuller lives for these kids. 4% of our national budget is allocated to cancer funding, and of that 4%, 1% is allocated to childhood cancer. There are countless different kinds of cancers that need to be treated differently. Lastly, this song may seem a little upbeat for the topic of the video. I chose it because it was written by a teenager with cancer. Zach Zobiek had osteosarcoma and was told he had a few months left to live, and there was nothing that doctors could do. He immediately proceeded to write this song, and many others, and set out to make a difference for those with childhood cancer, while simultaneously keeping positive, uplifting, and open about it. That's the attitude I want to give with this video.